Okay, so we last time we started with BPSK. Okay, in BPSK we transmit one bit at a time, either 1 or 0. Okay, so the constellation graphs looks like this. Okay, but one disadvantage of drawback of BPSK is that we can't the power, though the power requirement is less, but we can't transmit more number of information, okay, in BPSK, and the bandwidth usage is also very high. So we went with QPSK. Okay, in QPSK we send 2 bit at a time. Okay, this is 2 bit, this is 1 bit. In QPSK we send 2 bit at a time. So when I talk about 2 bit, the constellation graphs will look like this. Let's say this is 0 1, this is 1 1, this is 0 0, this is 1 0. Okay, are you getting? So 2 bit at a time, whereby now I can send 2 bit at a time, so more number of information can be accommodated, okay, in less number of bandwidth here in this case. Now, okay, let's say our information is 0 1 1 0 1 0 1 1 0 0 1 0. Let's say this is our information. Okay, I have to transmit this full sequence of information using QPSK. Okay, so first I will send 0 1, so 0 1, then I will send 1 0, so I can go here. Okay, 0 1 to 1 0 1 0 1 0 to the 1 0, it will stay here. The 1 0 to 1 1, so I have to cross this crossing here to reach here. Okay, 1 0 to 0 0, so I need to come from here to here. 0 0 to 1 0 again, so I need to come here. So it shows the movement of the, you know, the position of the bit in the constellation graph. That's why this type of graph is also called as vector diagram. Okay, now, but we have a situation, always remember that the probability of 1 bit error, okay, during the transition is higher than die-bit error. Always remember. Okay, probability of 1 bit error during the transition is higher than die-bit error. That means 1 bit error during the transition, from transition means when it goes from here to here or from here to here. Okay, that time the 1 bit error occurs more than your 2 bit error. Are you getting or not? If there is die bit, then there is a problem. Okay, then there is a problem. We need to solve that issue. If it is 1 bit error, then that is normal. Like for example, let's say Analu 0 1 to 1 0. Okay, first it is transitioning from 0 1 to 1 0. It has 1 bit error or 2 bit error?
2 bits.
It is 2-bit because 0 is changing to 1, 1 is changing to 0. Imemena? Imemena?
Yes, sir.
Jendesu. Clear asigani? 0, 1 to 1, 0 move beodalu. It is die-bit error. Remember that. So it is allowed or not allowed? It is allowed or not allowed?
Not allowed.
It is not allowed. This particular transition is not allowed because there is 2-bit error. Now, Lachminana, probability of 1-bit error during the transition is higher than die-bit error. Say. So I will take, okay, from 0, 1 to 1, 0 beodalu, 2-bit error. So that means I can't take this transition. There is a problem. If it goes from 1, 0 to 0, 0, is it 1-bit error or die-bit error?
1-bit error, sir.
It is 1-bit error. So this is okay. If I'm going from here to here, it is 1-bit or 2-bit error? It is 2-bit error, not allowed. When it moves from here to here, it is 1-bit error, so this is allowed. So as you can see that there are certain transition that it is not allowed. That means those transition is causing some interference. We need to avoid this kind of situation. Are you getting? That is one of the drawback of your QPSK, normal QPSK. And another drawback is that, as you can see, when it moves from 1, 0 to 1, 1, the transition is happening through the origin. This is origin, right? Through the origin. When the transition happens through the origin, there will be non-linearity between the signals. That will cause some crosstalk, inter-ISI, okay, noise. It will occur. So in normal QPSK, what will happen? There is a transition through the origin also. This is one case. But you need to understand that a transition is happening through the origin also in normal QPSK. So these are some of the drawbacks. Of course, we can send more number of information in less number of bandwidth, but these two were not acceptable. So that's why, so here the transition is happening for 180-degree phase shift. Okay, here the transition is happening for 180-degree. So scientists came out with another one modified QPSK called offset QPSK, OQPSK, whereby transition, instead of happening transition in 180-degree, why not the transition happens for 90-degree? That means it can't go through the origin, but it can only have a transition between these phases. This one is 0, 1. This can be 1, 1. Let's say this is 1, 0, and this is 0, 0. That means if I do this, then there will be only 1-bit error transition from one stage, one space to next stage. One bit to next bit. One information to next information in the constellation graph. Now here the transition is happening only for 90-degree phase shift. This is called as offset QPSK. Are you getting or not? With this, I can't have a transition through the origin. And there will be only 1-bit error transition from one information to next information. Is it clear or not? Is it clear or not?
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
Now,
Yes, sir.
see, the one more modification to the OPSK, that is offset QPSK, is called as the offset QPSK is also called as pi by 2 QPSK. because it is the transition is happening for 90-degree phase shift, remember that. So pi by 2 QPSK. So now one more QPSK is there, one type of QPSK, that is called as pi by 4 QPSK. It is the combination of normal QPSK and the OP QPSK. Now see, let's say this is your normal QPSK, where the transition of from one information to next information is 180 degree. This one is, let's say, your OQPSK, OQPSK, where the transition is happening for 90 degree from one information to next information. Now what about if I combine these two and draw here like this, see, like this, okay, like this. Now if I'm transmitting the information from here, I can't move to the circled one, I can move only to the square one, next transition D. For example, if the bit is something like here, Analu, if this is the information, present information, I can't have a transition from here to circle to circle. I can't have that. This is error. I can have the transition only from circle to square, circle to square, circle to square, circle to square. From circle, I can't go to the next transition to the circle. I can go to only the square, square, this transition only. This was found, this type of transition had more number of non-linearity, more number of, it avoided that non-linearity. This transition, this is called as pi by 4 QPSK. It had a transition of 135 degree. It does not look like 135 degree, but in a space, in a 3D diagram, it will be 135 degree. Further avoided that non-linearity. Okay, avoided, I'll write it here. Avoids non-linearity through the origin, pi by 4 QPSK. It is clear or not? Now coming back to the diagram, see. Okay. See, this is your conventional QPSK where the phase shift is 180 degree. This one is your offset QPSK where the phase transition is 90 degree. And this is pi by 4 QPSK where it will never go through the transition from zero crossing. Okay. Now there are this information here. See, pi by 4 QPSK has a limited phase transition of 135 degree. See, is it clear or not? So, and it also found out that this pi by 4 QPSK worked well, performs well in multipath scenario. Okay, this particular modulation scheme. Are you getting or not till here, till this point? These are basic of modulation scheme in wireless communication. Any doubt till this point? There are some information for
Yes,
offset QPSK here, Analu, then pi by 4 QPSK information is given here. Okay. Now, why do we have so much of modulation schemes. Why do we have so much of modulation schemes? Have you ever realized that why we are studying so much of modulation schemes? You know, uh, it would not complicate the system. Why? We already have ASK, we already have FSK, we already have Q. Why not we can modify only one and use that modulation scheme? Why? Why do we have different modulation schemes? We have BPSK, QPSK, QPSK nalo offset QPSK lo, daru pi by 4 QPSK lo. It would confuse us more. Why? Have you ever realized that? Hmm? Now, okay, for GSM, especially for GSM, okay, this kind of modulation, this one single type of modulation can be appropriate. But like, for example, if we go beyond 3G, WiMAX and 3G, okay, if we go beyond WiMAX and 3G, we needed, modulation scheme called as adaptive modulation coding and scheme. Adaptive modulation coding and scheme. What does this mean? Okay, see, I'll write it here. Adaptive modulation and coding scheme. Based on the signal and noise ratio. Okay, I'll write it here. Based on signal to noise ratio and channel condition, we can select particular type of modulation scheme. The meaning of adaptive modulation scheme. Okay, based on your signal to noise ratio and channel condition, we can choose appropriate modulation scheme. Okay, in one region I need PPSK, in one region I can need QPSK, in some region I need 16 cam. So like that is there. For example, what kind of scenario we require this different modulation scheme? Let's say there is a base station here. Okay, please listen it very careful. This topic is important. Okay, let's say in the first tier I need 64 com. Okay, first tier. I go little further from base station. This tier requires 16 com. That it is 64 com day, the 16 com day. This is just an example. Now I go little further. BPSK is more than enough. Okay, BPSK is more than enough. 64 com. How many bits are sent at a time? How many bits are sent at a time? 64 com.
54.
How many bits are sent at a time?
64, sir.
Yeah, 64 com na. How many bits are sent at a time? 64 equals to 2 to the power. Kuchimo. 2 to the power 6. Imemena. Imegush. 64 equal to 2 to the power 6. English.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So 6 bits are sent at a time. Imemena. 64 com nolu. First tire. In 64 com, 6 bits are sent at a time because 64 equals to the power 6. In 16 com, how many bits are sent at a time? 2 to the power 4. 2 to the 4, 4 to the 8, 8 to the 16. In which modulation scheme, 64 com or 16 com, do we require more power?
In 64.
In 64 com, we require more power because 6 more number of bits we want to transfer. That means more number of power per bit per information. So that's why 64 com is close to the base station because power will be higher in this region, right, compared to this region. Is it clear? First love Bengalu. Am I clear to you? Am I making some sense?
Sir. Yes, sir.
This region, this first tire, this is the first region, first tire. Any region nadui, since base station is very close, so more power is being transmitted in this region. So that's why I require some, a modulation scheme which is having higher power requirement compared to 16 com. As I go little further, I require less power, and less power will be transmitted by the base station as we go further. Like for example, let's say another BPSK. See this BPSK. BPSK will require less power. That's why it is in the little far from your base station. Are you getting this kind of technique? Adjusting to this is just one example. This is in aspect of power usage. This kind of system is called as adaptive modulation scheme. You are adapting with the scenario. Here in this case, with the power. Are you getting or not? Now, next scenario is, you see, but the quality should not degrade, the quality should not degrade. Like for example, a guy is playing game here. Okay, whatever you're playing PUBG or whatever your game, your Mobile Legend, one game he is playing, this guy here in this region. Now 64 com will give a very good quality because it's 6 bit. Remember the 6 bit information he is transmitting, so the quality will be better in this case. So the data rate is high, data rate consumption is high in this case. Okay, so he is playing game. What if he moves away from this region? Let's say he is moving away from the base station. He is moving and he is playing game. Okay, so as he goes away from the base station, it has to cope up with the modulation scheme which has less number of bit rate, which has less number of power consumption. So the data rate will come down. So the mobile has to adjust with its modulation, change of modulation scheme or data rate. So if this guy has to come here, the quality should remain same, but the data rate will come down. Quality the change on me. In order to get that quality, the data rate will come down. So that's why you see while playing game, while moving, there is buffering sign, the game is being hang, it's still loading, it is adjusting to the data rate, itself, because you are moving and the signal is not reliable, signal is not good, the signal strength is not better in that area, so it has to adjust with that data rate in order to maintain that quality. Are you getting or not? So in aspect of data rate, this is the scenario. So it has to adapt to different modulation scheme to different areas like this. But this is applicable only for 3G, only for 3G and beyond, 3G, 4G, 5G. That's something this kind of modulation schemes is required. It is not required in GSM. Why? It is not required in GSM. Can someone tell me? Hmm? Can someone suggest me why this system is not used in GSM? Because in GSM, we don't require for video streaming, live gaming, SD videos. It is only for telephonic conversation. You didn't know till now, GSM. Last time, Tedisuke, you all did that seminar. GSM is only for telephonic conversation, right? Chatting. It is not for your SD videos, streaming SD videos, live gaming. That's why this kind of system is not required in your GSM 1G or 2G. It is only applicable for WiMAX and beyond, that is 3G and beyond. So in order to cope up with this kind of system, there can be two things. Engineer can do two things. One is, why not this base station will transmit power, more power to the region where the power is less. Okay, like for example, if he goes here, this guy is here, suddenly the data rate has changed, so his game has been hanged there, is loading. Now what he can do, what this engineer can do is increase the amount of power in this region, so signal will improve. Another one is install another one base station here close to the BPSK 16 cam, another base station. This is another one technique. That's why you will see more number of base station, especially in crowded places, in order to deal with this. In 3G, 4G, 5G Nalu, you will see there will be more number of small towers in more crowded urban areas, in order to deal with this adaptive modulation and coding scheme. And of course, to deal with the capacity which we have studied last time, all those cell sectoring, cell splitting. Is it clear or not? This is called as modulation, adaptive modulation and coding scheme. Am I clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Now there is one graph here. Okay, here there is one graph which is throughput versus SNR. This is SNR is signal to noise, throughput versus SNR. So I told you last time also, in order to select, okay, in order to select a better modulation scheme, a particular modulation scheme, okay, you need to first check that system how it is behaving in low SNR first, then you go beyond. Say Lapchiba dengan Daja. Do you remember or not? Do you remember or not? In order to select a particular modulation scheme for a particular scenario, you need to check a system whether that system is working, how it is working, how it is behaving for low SNR. Because low SNR requires low power. Obviously, if SNR is increasing, you require high power, right? So in a high power, I can't have QPSK, BPSK, right? It is waste of power, though. I can't have in this last region, the third tier Nalu of a region which is far from the base station. I'm using 64 com. That is waste of power, right? That is waste of
Yes,
power,
sir.
right? It is because it is radiating in all directions. So there will be a waste of power because it consumes a lot of power. So obviously for low SNR, low power is required, and we choose a modulation scheme which requires less power. So as you can see here, this 1 by 2, 2 by 3, 3 by 4, these are coding rates, encoding rates. Okay, you don't have to remember, but just understand this graph. These numbers are not important for you. 1 by 2, 2 by, these are the raw data won't be transmitted. It has to be encoded first, then transmitted. That encoding, you know, how much bit it has been encoded. That coding rate is your 1 by 2, 2 by 3, 3 by 4. So as you can see here, if you want to achieve 16 dB SNR, I can't have you know, the graph which is 64 com modulation scheme of 64. I can have 64 com 2 by 3, 16 can, I can select out of this, but I have to select particular one, 64, which is close to this 16 dB. I can select QPSK also for this, but it will be waste of power. So as you can see, as the SNR increases, throughput is also increasing. That is more quality of the signal, more number of signal, successful number of bits is reaching to the receiver. That's why they have an algorithm, you know, they have an algorithm for this. Like for example, if the SNR is from 0 to 4, if the SNR is from 0 to 4, take QPSK half and QPSK 2 by 3. If it is from 4 to 10, take QPSK 3 by 4, QPSK 5 by 6. If it is from 10 to 16, take 16 com. Anyway, algorithm, they will develop the algorithm and they will put in this base station. They will install in this base station. They develop the algorithm like this, and they install in the base station, and base station will perform what your algorithm, how that algorithm is behaving, right, according to the scenario. That's why, you know, whenever you choose a modulation scheme, it is very important that you study how the system is behaving for low SNR, so that the algorithm you can develop the algorithm for different sets of, you know, data sets of information for different SNR, for different range of SNR. Is it clear or not? This is called as adaptive modulation coding scheme. Very important topic, okay, for your 3G, 4G, 5G. So, okay, with this, the main one will come, that is called as minimum shift keying. This will be our last topic, so 10 minutes I'll take. Minimum shift keying. Let's break it down. This, what is this minimum and what is this shift keying? Shift keying because it is shift keying because it has to switch from 0 to 1, 1 to 0. There is a switch from 0 to 1 and 1 to 0. That's why it is called as shift keying. First line, can you see that minimum? We'll see in a while. What is this minimum? You'll understand. First, you see special type of continuous phase FSK law. Now let's say, what is this continuous FSK? Have you seen this diagram? Have you seen this diagram or not?
Yes, sir.
You have seen, right? Where you have seen? Where have you seen this diagram? In which module you have seen? In which module you have seen any diagram?
Analog and digital communication, sir.
Yes, analog and digital communication system. For 0 bit, it is F1. For 1 bit, it is F2. So different frequencies are there. This is called as continuous FSK. For discontinuous FSK, when there is a transition from 0 to 1, there is an unwanted signal. There is an unwanted transition. Like for example here, see, there is no swift transition, no smooth transition like in continuous FSK. That's why this is called as discontinuous FSK. Your minimum shift keying is a type of continuous FSK. Is it clear or not? When there is a transition from 1 to 0, there is a, see, unwanted transition from here to here. There is no smooth transition from one bit to next bit. That's why this is discontinuous FSK. So minimum shift keying is a type of discontinuous FSK. Continuous FSK. Next one, see, next one. Peak frequency deviation is 1/4 of the bit rate. Your frequency deviation, that is del f, this del f should be 1/4 of the bit rate. Why 1/4 of the bit rate? Why? Now I'll just tell you, just give you some information here. When I take the frequency deviation of 1/4 of the bit rate, the signal will behave as orthogonal signal. Orthogonal. You don't have to crack your head now. What is orthogonal? Okay, just understand that when the frequency deviation is 1/4 of the bit rate, the signal will behave orthogonal. Now, what do you mean by orthogonal? Let's say there is two signal. Here. Let's say there is two signal. One signal is correlating with each other like this. Two signal, message signal, and your one is two message signal and one carrier signal, and one signal is like this, okay, and one is like this, okay. In this, two signal are correlated to each other, in phase with each other. This one signal is not correlated with each other. They are out of phase with each other. Which one is better, this one or this one, and why?
First one is better, sir.
Why? One signal is information signal, one signal is your carrier signal. Analu, one signal is information, one signal is carrier. Why first one is better?
Because while information and carrier signal are in phase, there will be no distortion and interference, sir. But when it is out of phase, then they will cancel each other, sir.
They will cancel each other, but you can separate the signal from one another easily in this. Of course, it is out of, this is in phase. One might be overlapping with one another. Remember that. In that kind of sense, it is good, this one. But if you want to, if you are in a receiver and you want to separate two signal, then this signal is easier. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
This signal is better if you want to separate two signal. That means message signal from the carrier signal. This signal is better. B is better. That's why B will have higher orthogonality. Okay. This signal is acting more orthogonally because the signal is 180 phase out of phase analog. B. Two signals are acting orthogonal to each other. So this signal can be separated as easily as possible when the two signals are out of correlation, out of phase. So more orthogonal it is, okay, your frequency deviation should be 1/4 of the bit rate. Now the going back, the frequency deviation is 1/4 of the bit rate. Why 1/4 of the bit rate? Because only during that time the two signal will be orthogonal to each other, and more the orthogonality, more easily I can separate two signal at the receiver. Are you getting or not? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now, why this minimum? Why this minimum? See this last line. Because the frequency spacing, that means F1, the F2 give frequency shift, used is only half as much as that used in a convention. The most minimum frequency shift between F1 and F2 can be taken as only 0.5. Okay, that's why it is called as minimum. In this modulation scheme, the frequency shift is taken as 0.5. Is that clear or not? Only during that time the signal will act orthogonal to each other. So we have a small formula. I think this formula is familiar to you from frequency modulation days. KFSK is your modulation index that can be calculated 2 into delta, that is frequency separation, divided by bit rate. This modulation index should also be 0.5 if you are taking 1/4 of the bit rate. Okay, and what are some of the advantages of this modulation scheme is that it has constant envelope, it has good spectral efficiency, it has good BER performance. These three are main advantages of minimum shift keying, and this is your modulation scheme for GSM. We'll look more detailedly. This is the basic of your next one, Gaussian shift keying. Gaussian minimum shift keying. But this is the basic of minimum shift keying. Okay, we'll stop it here. Tomorrow we'll start with GMSK. Any doubt in whatever topic we have covered today? Please let me know.